Ladies and gentlemen, champions in the making. If you have even the slightest hunger for greatness, if you can feel that spark inside flickering with ambition, then I urge you, listen not only with your ears today, but with your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just information, it's a revelation. A truth so sharp it cuts through all the noise, all the excuses, all the mediocrity. Successful people avoid certain habits religiously, relentlessly, without exception, and those who cling to these habits, they stay stuck in the land of almost rich, almost disciplined, almost great, but almost never changed the world. So let's peel back the curtain and expose the habits that hold people hostage. Burn them from your life like weeds from a garden of gold. Every human being is born with potential, limitless, untapped and waiting to be directed, but very few ever reach that potential. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, and certainly not because they lack desire, No, the reason most people never rise is because they fall into the most dangerous trap of all, the habit of excuses. Excuses are dream killers. They don't come with fangs or claws, they're soft, gentle, logical even. They disguise themselves as reasonable explanations for failure, but what they really do is create invisible walls around your ambition. Every excuse is a tiny chain that shackles your potential, one link at a time. You see, the most successful people in the world have the same 24 hours. The same sun, the same storms, but what they refuse to do is surrender their power to an excuse. They never say, "Yeah, I didn't have time." They make time. They don't say, "I wasn't born with connections." They build them. They don't say, "The odds are against me." They say, "I will change the odds." Excuses give you permission to stay average. They are the comfortable blanket that keeps you warm while your dreams freeze to death outside. They are the smooth talkers that tell you, "It's okay, you'll try again tomorrow," when you know deep down you won't. Because the same excuse that robs you today will come back for you again tomorrow, and it'll be just as convincing. People say, "I'm not ready yet." But readiness is a myth. You're never going to feel ready. You get ready by doing, by acting, by stepping into the fire and learning to dance in it. Some say, don't have the money, yet the greatest empires were built by people who started with nothing but a belief. It's never about the money, it's about the mindset. When your vision is strong enough, you'll either find a way or create one. Others blame their background. Wasn't born into privilege, but history is filled with names who came from dirt floors and rose to diamond ceilings. The difference? They didn't allow their past to become their prison. They understood that your birthplace doesn't decide your finish line. Your belief does. Excuses feel good. They comfort the ego. They keep you from feeling the sting of accountability. But you know what else they do? They keep you from growing. You can't evolve if you're constantly rationalizing why you haven't started, why you quit, or why things didn't work out. The successful are not immune to fear or doubt. They just don't give it a voice. They refuse to speak the language of limitation. They silence excuses with action. They look at obstacles and say, "Let's go through it. Let's go over it. Let's go over it. Let's go around it." But we are not stopping. That's the mindset you need. The mindset that says, excuses are for people who plan to stay behind. Let me tell you something real. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It only responds to your output, your results, your resilience. You will never be remembered for what you meant to do. You will be remembered for what you did. And if all you did was explain, delay and justify, then you'll fade with the rest of the could-have beens. Don't be one of them. Don't let the best version of yourself be held hostage by a narrative that says, a not yet, or a not me, or a maybe later. You have power. You have the ability to shape your future, but you cannot do it while clinging to the soft comfort of an excuse. The people who rise, the ones we read about, admire, follow, they are not gods. They are not chosen. They are simply people who refuse to negotiate with weakness. People who looked in the mirror and said, no more lies, no more stories, no more excuses. And from that day forward, they acted like everything depended on them, because it did. And let me make this very clear to you. Your life does depend on it. Your future depends on it. Your family's future depends on it. The legacy you leave behind depends on it. So stop saying you can't. Start saying you will. Stop waiting for permission. Give it to yourself. Stop living like you have forever to start, because you don't. Excuses are chains dressed as comfort. Break them. Burn them. Replace them with commitment, with discipline, with fire. From this moment forward, promise yourself something sacred, that you will never again let an excuse come out of your mouth without challenging it, that you will treat every excuse as the enemy of your destiny, that when the weak voice inside says a later, the stronger voice will scream back, "You're der prayer." Success is not complicated, it's about doing what most won't, and most won't because they are addicted to excuses, but not you, not anymore. You're done with the lies, you're ready to rise, and nothing can stop you now. There is no enemy more dangerous, more deceptive, more quietly destructive than procrastination. It does not attack with noise, it whispers, it waits, it seduces you into believing that tomorrow will be better, that later is safer, that now is too soon. But what it really does is kill your momentum, bury your dreams, and steal your future, one silent moment at a time. Procrastination is the art of lying to yourself while calling it strategy. It's dressed up as patience, disguised as preparation, and painted to look like perfectionism. I'll start when the time is right. I'm just waiting for the perfect moment. But let me tell you the truth. The perfect moment does not exist. It never has. And the more you wait for it, the more you drift from the life you were meant to build. Every second you delay, life moves on. Opportunities don't wait. Success doesn't stall for you to feel ready. While you're stuck planning the perfect approach, someone else is already out there doing the work, failing forward, learning faster, and gaining ground. You don't lose to smarter people. You don't lose to stronger people. You lose to faster people, the ones who move while you're still thinking. The winners in life aren't the ones who wait until they feel 100% confident. They're the ones who step into uncertainty and trust themselves to figure it out along the way. They understand that action creates clarity. That movement breeds momentum, that the first step, even if it's ugly, is more valuable than the most detailed plan never acted upon. You see, procrastination feeds on fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. But the successful don't run from fear, they run toward it. They understand that fear is a compass pointing toward growth. So while procrastinators sit and analyze, the driven act and adapt. They are not afraid to look foolish, because they know greatness is born from imperfect action. And don't think procrastination is just about laziness. No, it's deeper than that. It's about self-worth. Because somewhere inside, the procrastinator doesn't truly believe their time matters. They don't believe their goals deserve urgency. But the person who values themselves, who respects their own potential, cannot sit idle. They move because they believe they are meant for more. You have to understand, time is your most valuable currency. You can lose money and get it back. You can lose possessions and recover. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. Every hour wasted in hesitation is an hour stolen from your future. If you knew how valuable your time was, how sacred every moment of decision is, you would never again put things off until tomorrow. The graveyard is full of unfinished books, unrealized inventions, unlaunched businesses, and unspoken dreams, all because someone thought they could wait a little longer. But the truth is harsh. Life doesn't guarantee you a later. If you won't do it now, what makes you think you'll suddenly become the kind of person who will do it later? Discipline is a muscle, action is a habit. And procrastination, if left unchecked, becomes a lifestyle. It convinces you that average is okay, that next week is close enough, that dreams can wait. But success doesn't visit the idle, it rewards the bold, the movers, the ones who rise early, stay late, and take messy action even when they don't feel like it. The successful don't wait for inspiration, they create it. They don't wait to feel ready, they prepare while they act. They understand that motivation follows movement, that the mind, once in motion, generates its own fire, so they build their lives on action, not delay. And that's why they win. If you want to live a life that matters, you have to start before you feel like it. You have to wake up with urgency, not comfort. You have to look at your to-do list and treat it like it's sacred, because it is. Your goals deserve urgency, your future deserves effort, your potential deserves now, not later. And let's be honest, procrastination is just a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. But not with hope. Not with wishful thinking. It's broken with decision, with a line drawn in the sand that says, no more delays, no more someday. It begins now. So what are you waiting for? The perfect day? It doesn't exist. The right energy? That comes after you start. The ideal environment? You build that through consistency. The difference between the person who wins and the person who watches is this: the winner starts when it's hard. They begin when it's awkward. They make progress while others make excuses. Every dream you've ever had is waiting behind one simple action, not a plan, not a wish, but a step, a call, a conversation, a draft, a launch. And once you take it, the next becomes easier, then the next. And then the fire begins to build. Procrastination will tell you to wait. Success will tell you to go. So choose: are you going to keep putting your future on pause, or are you finally going to press play? Your destiny isn't waiting. Why are you? The mind is the battlefield where success is either won or lost. Every goal you have, every dream you chase, every step forward you take, it all begins with thought. What you allow to live in your mind determines what will exist in your life. And this is where most people fail. Fail. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack resources, but because they have allowed negative thinking to take root and grow like a weed, choking every possibility before it ever has a chance to breathe. Negative thoughts are invisible anchors. You don't always see them, but you feel their weight. They hold you back when you try to move forward. They whisper doubt into your dreams. They show up in your inner voice and tell you things like, "You're not good enough," "You're too late," "You'll never make it." And if you listen long enough, you start to believe them. You start to repeat them, and eventually, you begin to live them. No one becomes successful by accident. It takes a mindset built on vision, belief, and courage. Negative thinking is the opposite of all three. It's vision in reverse. It only sees what could go wrong. It's belief in defeat. It assumes failure before the attempt. And it's fear disguised as logic. It tells you to play small, stay quiet, and not take risks. Let me tell you this: you cannot live a powerful life with a powerless mind. You have to understand that thoughts are not harmless. They are seeds. What you plant in your mind, you will harvest in your life. If you constantly water thoughts of insecurity, scarcity, fear, and doubt, don't be surprised when your life reflects those very things. If you tell yourself every day that things won't work out, that the world is against you, that you're not smart enough, fast enough, good enough, how can you ever rise? Successful people are not immune to negative thoughts, but they recognize them, they challenge them, they refuse to let them linger. When the mind whispers, "You can't," they respond, "Watch me." When the voice says, "You're not ready," they answer, "I'll get ready on the way." They do not allow negativity to go unchallenged, because they understand that thoughts, when repeated, become beliefs, and beliefs shape behavior. RTX. You will never outperform your own self-image. If you see yourself as weak, you'll act weak. If you see yourself as a failure, you'll find ways to prove it true. That's why guarding your mind is the most important work you'll ever do. It's not about being delusional. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing thoughts that empower you, strengthen you, lift you up, and call you forward. Negative thinking is a habit, just like anything else, and the longer you entertain it, the more it becomes automatic. You start to expect things to go wrong. You begin to assume people are against you. You anticipate failure, so you don't give full effort. And that becomes a cycle, one where your own mind becomes the very thing holding you hostage. But there is good news. You are not a slave to your thoughts. You are the master of them. You can decide today, right now, to take control. Free to catch the lies as they form, to rewrite the story in your mind before it becomes the reality in your world. You can build mental discipline just like physical strength, through daily reps, daily choices, daily affirmations that declare, "I am capable, I am capable, I am worthy, I am powerful, I am enough." You must protect your mind the way a warrior protects his weapon, because that's exactly what it is. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It can build empires or burn bridges. It can create miracles or multiply misery. You choose, and you choose with every thought you accept or reject. When negative thoughts come, and they will, you don't have to accept them. You don't have to adopt them as truth. You can question them. Where did this come from? Is this belief based in fact or fear? Does this thought serve the life I want to build? If the answer is no, then reject it. Replace it. Speak truth in its place. Because once you change your thinking, your entire world begins to shift. The strongest people you know, the ones who walk with confidence, who build, lead, inspire, are not exempt from internal battles. But they win those battles daily because they've learned to control what they focus on. They feed faith, not fear, possibility, not limitation, strength, not doubt. There is greatness in you, but it will never rise through a mind filled with self-sabotage. You must become the guardian of your thoughts. You must stand at the gates of your mind and refuse entry to anything that does not serve your purpose. And when negative thoughts show up, you must meet them with intention, with power, with the unshakable truth of who you really are. Your future is not controlled by luck or chance. It is shaped by your mindset. The person who controls their thoughts controls their destiny. And once you decide to think boldly, believe deeply, and act fearlessly, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So train your mind for success. Feed it with vision, fuel it with gratitude, fill it with belief, and never ever again let a negative thought steal one more moment of your power. There is a pattern among the truly successful, one that separates them from the average, from the complainers, from the ones who wait and wish and wonder why nothing changes. That pattern is personal responsibility. The winners in life do not play the blame game. They do not point fingers. They do not spend time crafting excuses. They stand tall, even in failure, and they say, "This is on me. And because it's on me, I have the power to fix it." The ones who fail to rise are often stuck in a mindset of deflection. Their favorite phrases begin with, "if only." If only my parents had supported me. If only the economy was better. If only my boss appreciated me. If only I had more time, more money, more connections. But the truth is, if only is a prison. Every time you assign responsibility for your life to someone else, you hand them the keys to your future. Successful people understand that blaming others gives away your power. It may feel good in the moment to shift fault onto circumstances, onto other people, onto the weather, onto fate, but every excuse you make digs a deeper hole between you and the life you want. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's a weapon. It's a weapon. It's how you take control. It's how you shift from being a victim to being the architect of your own future. When something goes wrong, and it will, your first instinct matters. If your instinct is to defend your ego, to justify your choices, to look around for someone to carry the weight for you, then you've already lost. But if your instinct is to ask, "What could I have done differently? What can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger from this?" That is the thinking that forges champions. Blame is a form of self-sabotage. It keeps you focused on the external, when the real battle is internal, when the real battle is internal. When you blame, you avoid growth. You skip the lesson. You protect your pride but you kill your progress. You stay stuck because you never confront the truth. And success is only found by those who are brave enough to confront the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it stings. The person who wins is not the one who makes no mistakes, but the one who owns every mistake they make, and learns from it faster than anyone else. They do not fear accountability, they welcome it. They invite feedback, not flattery. They're not interested in pity. They want power, and they know the path to power is paved with ownership. You must understand that your circumstances are not your identity. Where you start is not where you have to finish. You are not defined by what others did or didn't do for you. You are defined by how you respond. How you respond. Do you let pain become an excuse or fuel? Do you let struggle make you smaller or sharper? Do you use your past to justify failure or to ignite greatness? Every time you blame, you freeze. You give your energy to the past instead of your vision for the future. For the future, you become reactive, not proactive. But when you take responsibility, even for things that weren't entirely your fault, you position yourself to rise. Because now, you're not waiting on others to change. You're not hoping for someone to rescue you. You've decided that change begins with you, that your life is your creation. And that mindset is magnetic. It attracts opportunities. It attracts trust. It attracts momentum. Leaders don't play the blame game. Innovators don't whine about what's unfair. Champions don't talk about how someone else got lucky. They take the hand they're dealt, and they play it with strategy, with intention, and with grit. And when they lose, they don't sulk. They analyze, they recalibrate, they move again, wiser and stronger. It's easy to blame. It's easy to point fingers, but nothing worthwhile is built in ease. Growth is built in ownership, so look around your life. Where are you pointing instead of taking action? Where are you making excuses instead of making adjustments? Where are you waiting for someone else to fix what you have the power to change? The mirror is your greatest tool, not to admire yourself, but to confront yourself. To ask, am I being honest about the role I've played in my results? Am I accepting full ownership of my time, my energy, my mindset? If the answer is no, then that's the work. That's where the shift begins. Taking responsibility doesn't mean self-blame. It doesn't mean shame. It means saying, I have the power to respond. I have the ability to rise. I don't control everything, but I control my attitude, my choices, my response. That's where freedom lives. When you stop blaming, you start building. When you stop making excuses, you start making moves. And when you decide, once and for all, that your life is your responsibility, no matter who hurt you, no matter who hurt you, no matter who left, no matter what was unfair, then no one can stop you. Because you've reclaimed your power. So stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone to apologize, to believe in you, to make it easier. You are not waiting. You are working. You are owning. You are choosing the path of the few, the proud, the unstoppable. Blame is for the weak. Ownership is for the winners. Decide which one you are, then prove it. Every single day, the environment you place yourself in determines the trajectory of your life. And more powerful than your circumstances, more potent than your resources, is the company you keep. The people around you are either lifting you up or pulling you down. They are either feeding your ambition or starving it. And those who rise to the top, those who live with clarity, fire, and focus, they understand this deeply. That is why they are ruthlessly selective about who they allow into their circle. They avoid negative associations like a warrior dodges poison, because they know even one drop can pollute the mind, corrupt the spirit, and sabotage the mission. Negative people carry invisible chains made of doubt, fear, sarcasm, laziness, gossip, and excuses. And if you spend too much time around them, you begin to wear those chains yourself. Not because you want to, but because energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. If you walk through smoke long enough, you start to smell like it. That's why the successful protect their minds. They guard their time. They don't entertain those who live in complaints, or those who see problems in every opportunity, or those who scoff at dreams because they've given up on their own. To build anything of value, whether it's a career, a business, a legacy, you must surround yourself with people who believe in growth, who believe in action, who believe in something greater than comfort. You must surround yourself with warriors, visionaries, builders, people who make you raise your standards, not lower them. People who challenge you to think bigger, to show up stronger, to never settle. Because when you surround yourself with that kind of energy, you begin to expand. You begin to break free from limitations you didn't even know you had. But the opposite is also true. If your circle is full of people who avoid responsibility, who live for the weekend, who mock ambition and worship mediocrity, you will feel it. You will start to question your goals. You will shrink your voice. You will second-guess your calling. Not because something changed within you, but because you absorbed their fear. You inherited their limitations. You began to see the world through their broken lens. Successful people refuse to give that power away. They know that time is limited and energy is sacred. They don't have room for pessimism. They don't engage in gossip. They don't sit around complaining about what can't be done. They are too busy creating. Too busy learning. Too busy learning. Too busy becoming. And if someone isn't aligned with that energy, they let them go. Not with hate, but with wisdom.